Hi, this is Linda Green, and I'm here with Dr. Scott Graff at Holistic Healthcare in Southern Utah and St. George, and we are so grateful that he's willing to help us out and give us a little bit of information about what he does. And he's a chiropractor and does a lot of other things as well. He's helped me a ton, and I'm super grateful for all that he has helped me with. So I'll turn it over to him.
Thank you. So my background is chiropractic, and as I went to school, I wanted to do something else to add to the chiropractic part. So I wanted to look for things that were natural that I could do and to support each other. And so one of the things that we do in our clinic is we try to look at people through what we talk about as the triangle of health. So when someone comes in, how we describe it is we put them in the middle, okay? So when someone comes in, we look at their health or their goals of what they're wanting to accomplish. So a lot of times we start thinking of health as I have to be sick or I have to have problems to get better. And that's not necessarily true. We like to look at how can we not have those things happen in our lifetime if we can afford it. If we can do the right things when we are younger or at any age, is can we try to get away from having some of those problems that we see in maybe family members or other friends. And so what can we do to prevent health problems, or what can we do to do the things that we want to do? If it's to hike more, run faster, play better in sports, sleep better, have a better memory. So there's two different types of people that we help. Is some, they have some condition that they want to have help with or to have improvement with, and others are, I don't want to get certain conditions, so they come in and we try to look at helping them with that. So what we do is we put the person in the middle or their goal, like we started talking about. Now with that person in the middle, there's three different sections that we start evaluating. The first one is down at the bottom where it's structure. So what does that really mean? That's a lot of it is the chiropractic part where we're looking at the spine. Is everything lined up properly? Is the body bending properly? Is it able to move the right amount and not do it with pain or any symptoms? So a lot of times also people think that if I don't have symptoms, I must be healthy, and that's not necessarily the case. Is a lot of times you can have things brewing for years and years and years before it shows up as a symptom. So we try not to look at that with them, and we start teaching, let's not wait for symptoms to show up to do anything about our health, but let's start being proactive and start fortifying our body. So when we talk again about structure, can I bend properly? Can I move properly? Can I walk long distances? Can I have a good stride with my legs? All those things of my muscles, are they cramping when I use them? Do they bend, or do they contract right? Do they relax in the right timing? So we start looking at it going, how do I move through life, and how do I move with the things I do every day, or maybe through my sports and things of that nature. So structurally we look at that. How does that affect that person or that condition or that goal? The next category we look at is we have it as body chemistry. Body chemistry is more of what's going internally, what's going on the inside, what's going on with the organs, what's my hormones doing, how am I digesting my food. A lot of times we have people that come in and they have big time or major problems with digestion, which can be I don't absorb my food very good. Some cases is we have a lot of bowel issues of the fact that they're constipated, and we try to go, what can we do in a natural way to support that organ, support that body, to help it heal up or to help it to where it starts functioning properly. Now, the other thing is when we have people coming here that are already trying to live that way, and they're already, say they're taking a supplement, so they're taking a vitamin, a mineral, amino acid, something that they go, hey, I've been taking this for years and it's supposed to help with this, but I don't feel like I'm getting the result that I want. That's when we go, are you absorbing it? So there's an old saying that we all have heard before, where it is, I am, or I am what I eat, or my body, whatever I eat, therefore I get into my system. Reality, what we start looking at with people is you are what you absorb. So it's not necessarily you are what you eat, you are what you absorb, which means what do you eat. And if you eat that, does it get into your cells? Does it get into your body? Does it get where it needs to go? a lot of times, again, we have that belief of, well, I put it in my body, therefore I got all the nutrients. So that's one of the things that we start talking with people about, is making sure just because you got it in, it didn't necessarily get where it needs to go. The other factor is you start dealing with, well, if I got it in my system, so if it says take 2, that's all I need to take 2 capsules of this, because I'm the same as a 200-pound person and I'm only 100 pounds, so I should be on the same dose. And that, again, is kind of a not necessarily true. So we start looking at is, what's your dosage that you need for your body type? What's your dosage that you need for your activity level? Are you burning through it faster than the other person? And then are you absorbing it? So if there's a lot of people, and maybe it's you out there, that has digestive problems where it's, I have acid reflux, I've bloated, I'm constipated, then most likely you're having problems down there, and who's to say that you're able to get all those nutrients in? So are you absorbing 100%? So if you're not, then you may have to take 2 to 3 times the dose just to get half the dose. So that's another thing that we start looking at people, and we kind of dial them in to where they get the benefit of whatever they're taking in a more supplement way, nutrition way, in that category. The last category we have is perception. Perception is more of, what do we believe? How do we think? Are we happy? Are we positive? How does that affect me on an everyday basis? Am I able to control those things? Sometimes we're told that, you know what, however you believe, you're stuck like that. Well, we can learn, and there's certain techniques that we do and certain treatments that we do to try to help people learn different techniques or different treatments for themselves at home, and we can help them get back in charge of their lives, back in charge of how they feel, how they think, and so that they can help have a more positive outlook on life. Now, when we have all 3 of them up here, it's not necessarily I only have a problem in one category, or I only have the problem in this second category down here, or whatever, however we label them for the individual. But how does this affect not just the body or that person, but can this all go all the way across and affect the structure? So this may be, the perception may be the problem, but it's knocking out my structure, or it's affecting me structurally. Same as my structure, or how I bend and how I move, or I don't bend and move, how is that affecting my organs? Maybe it's my intestines, maybe it's my lymphatic system. So now we start having a play on, how does maybe chemistry affect perception? So I have depression, I have anxiety, or maybe it's affecting I have really tight muscles and my shoulders hurt. That's a common thing I hear from people, is I hold all my stress up in my shoulders. So stress, perception affecting physical. Okay, so again, how does this play in all these factors? And we try to look at it as, what's their priority? What do we need to do first, second, third? Again, another belief system people have is, I've done that once. I've done just the structure. That didn't work, so then I just did the chemistry, and then I just did perception. We start looking at as, why do you have to pick one? And we get a better response or a better healing if we're doing multiple things at one time, and then the person heals up faster. So one of the things that we've used, and Linda has brought this to my attention with some others in our community, is they've started teaching me more about oils and how does that affect the person. So we can go in there and we can look at, how does an oil maybe affect my perception, which therefore changes the structure? Or how can I maybe put an oil on some of the muscles, get my muscles to relax, and then it goes and it affects my body chemistry or my perception. So the biggest thing I learned is, yes, we have 3 categories up here, but each category has subcategories. So they've been able to teach me to kind of add to my subcategories is oils. So you have oils, you have a massage out there, you have your medical doctor out there, you have your physical therapist. You do not have to have only one helper out there. So the biggest thing, or another big thing that we try to teach, is get multiple players on your team, get multiple brains helping you out in here to reach your goal and to help you be a healthier, happier life, or have a healthier, happier life, and move forward. And so you don't have to pick, you don't have to be stuck. And just because you've tried it once, you may need to try it again and work on all 3. So the last thing I want to say is, when we do these things, the other things that make it to where someone has success or they have struggles is there's different categories of, we got to find the right thing to do. So if that is an oil, if that's stress, working on the stress, if that's nutrition, so you got to find the right thing. Then you got to be consistent with it. So you got to do it pretty much daily for a period of time. And so the last thing is that period of time. I got to do it long enough. So the 3 categories: right thing, then next is basically do it enough, and then do it long enough. So if you're not doing all 3 of those, then you're probably not going to get the results that you want. And that's with everything out there. So that applies to everything. So if you can do those 3 things and look at, there's other answers out there to add to my team or add to my little bag of tricks, then that's a way that you can work on your health. And you can work on it at home, you can work on it with other people, and it can help you have a healthier, happier life, and you can move forward in life and do the things that you want to do with you and your family.